Should all get here?
I didn't silence my phone.
Well, I'm going to silence my phone, then you didn't.
I came over here specifically to do so, and I looked at my notifications instead.
Welcome back to Bomb Shelf. I'm Josh.
I'm Keith.
And I'm Erik.
We got yet another bottle of whiskey today. I really need to come up with a better intros for that. Joyce, can you tell our viewers at home what we have today?
Today you are drinking Rebel Yell 80 proof. Rebel Yell is a straight Kentucky wheated bourbon. The brand was founded by Stitzel Weller in the mid-1900s before being bought by Lux Co. in the 1980s. It is now produced by Lux Row Distillers. This bourbon comes in at 80 proof, and we paid $13 with it usually costing around $16. As always, your prices may vary. Enjoy!
All right, thank you, Joyce. Now you know what we're drinking. I know, they don't. Let's dive in and see what they think as they look at this color.
I'm getting citrus, an orange or a grapefruit.
Yeah.
Which are very much not the same, but...
See, I'm getting actually like a lemon lime.
If I had to say a citrus fruit, I'd say orange.
Yeah, definitely a citrus. I'm actually like a candied orange. Very,
yeah,
very sugary orange.
Definitely sweet.
Yes. Almost like those orange slices that you get in the bag at the candy store.
The ones that are 2 for $1 at the gas station?
Yes. Right next to the fantastic sushi.
A little bit of wood, but...
Mm-hmm.
So I think the citrus note's definitely the most prominent there.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to go for a taste.
I got a very faint English walnut aroma.
Not just walnut.
That's very specific.
Yeah, like English walnut.
Well, English walnut or black walnut are completely different in...
I didn't know there was more than one type of walnut.
Right over my head.
Yeah. I mean, I would have assumed there probably was.
English walnuts are typically the walnuts that you find in a bag of mixed nuts that you get. Yeah. Black walnuts are the ones that stain our cars with their husks in this time of year every year.
Definitely an oak presence.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get past that oak presence because it's just...
There is some citrus on the palate as well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely some sort of fruit.
It's a good finish.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Very, very prolonged.
Mm-hmm.
But with this particular whiskey, I like that long finish.
Mm-hmm.
I really do.
I feel like the finish has to match what the palate brings. So it has a bolder palate, therefore it needs to have a longer, bolder finish.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you have a very delicate, easy sipping whiskey on the palate, it needs to have a shorter finish. Otherwise, if the finish is long and drawn out, you're kind of losing your respect for the palate because the finish is just ending and with something very different.
It's kind of spicy. Maybe some like pepper, like peppercorns.
Going back to the nose after drinking, I'm getting a lot more wood. Almost like, but not like wood. Almost like wood water.
Mm-hmm. I can't get past that walnut aroma. And I'm picking it up on the finish. At the very end of the finish. So you gotta wait a long time for it.
I like it, but I am having a hard time picking stuff out.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is extremely complex, but...
I would agree there's some woody notes, some citrus notes.
Some sort of baking spice. Maybe even like a chili note on the finish.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like on the finish.
On the finish, there's some like...
I might go with like a chili pepper. Like chili powder.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm adding water in mine. Let me know you're ready.
Ooh, yeah.
Again, I think this is going to be astringent with water.
I'm getting like a pepper flake.
Yeah.
Not so much chili peppers, but pepper flakes.
Yeah.
I'm still going to stay with chili, but...
And that nutty flavor and nutty aroma that I'm picking up, it blows me away. I'm really liking this.
I'm getting more nutty notes with the
I was going to say wood vanilla is what I'm getting on the nose now.
kills the finish. It kills the finish.
It does kill the finish.
Like,
I think it makes the palate a little bit too spicy,
yes.
I was
and
gonna
the
say,
finish just is cut short. It's not like there's no finish, but it's definitely cut from that prolonged, enjoyable finish to a more.
I'd flip that. I'd say that for me, the palate has become thin, and the finish is still really robust, and so it's doing exactly what we were saying earlier, where the finish just has a really heavy-handed finish, and it's overpowering compared to the palate.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying, but I almost want to combine what you two are saying. It's like a very bold finish, but instead of being drawn out, and instead of ending subtly like most finishes, it's like very bold and it stops.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a very short finish.
Yeah.
But the finish is there.
It's like punctuated.
Mhm.
Yes. Exclamation.
Yes.
Here it is.
I think I liked it better without the water.
Same.
Yeah.
It was interesting to explore, but
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one that I'm definitely doing neat.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And I can't wait to figure out what it is because I want this on my shelf.
all right. So let's do some ratings. Nose.
I'm gonna give it a 3 on the nose. It isn't exceptional. I like all of the notes, but there's nothing that like makes me love it.
I'm kicking it up. I'm going 4. I really like that candied orange note. The walnut note very much surprised me. I'm used to picking up a pecan or a hazelnut, something like that. To pick up a light and airy nutty oat like a walnut was very surprising to me and very enjoyable.
I'm gonna go in between you guys. Let's say 3.5. That was a good nose. The orange very much jumped out to me, but it was fine. Palate.
This to me is where this began to really shine. I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Ooh.
I thought the palate was exceptional before we added the water. The water, not so much. But knowing that I don't like the water added, I'm going to drink this neat. And I'm going to enjoy it. The palate.
Ditto.
4.5 then?
Yeah.
Okay.
All around. Exactly what Erik said. Very enjoyable. Again, neat only for me, and the flavors were extravagant.
I am also going to say neat was better, but I'm going to stick with the 3.5. Nothing super interesting to me jumped out. Finish.
I'm going to give it a 4 on the finish. I like that prolonged finish before we add water. Drinking this at its optimal form, I'm going to give it a 4. The finish was long, drawn out, had all the right notes. It fit the palate very well.
I'm going 5. It was long, drawn out, profound, vibrant, bold, exciting. The thing that I liked about this one being a very long and drawn out finish is so much changed in the finish as it continued to finish.
I'm going to give it the finish a 4. I thought that the finish matched very well to the palate. It wasn't overshadowing the palate, and it wasn't overshadowed by the palate. Nice continuation, and introduced new flavors that were unique to the finish, but didn't necessarily go against the palate. So I think that the way that the finish interacted with the palate was just really good. And yeah. All right, so let's talk about ratings and notes from others.
What should say, like apple, no citrus.
Yeah.
Short finish.
Nose, sweet, caramel. That's about it. Palate,
Okay.
vanilla, caramel, and cocoa. Finish, short finish, warm, thin.
Okay, I need you to go back over that finish. The short just killed me.
Short finish, warm, and thin. Now remember, we are doing whiskey after a whiskey after a whiskey.
Yes.
So we are biased. Our palates are biased. It's still blind, but most of the people who are doing these reviews are doing these by themselves. They may have some sort of base, but it's not necessarily the same base. But that being said, there you have it.
Okay.
Now I'm going to read to you though the Distiller's tasting notes.
Okay.
So that was just the general populace. This is the Distiller's tasting notes, which obviously tend to be biased because they're trying to make their whiskey sound good. But honey, vanilla, slightly woody raisin, and candy sticks.
Okay.
I got the candy.
I would agree more with that one than the general.
Yeah.
Palate, sultanas, nectarine, and hints of prune, vanilla throughout.
Yeah.
Finish, warming pressed apple.
Sure, I guess.
Yeah, sure. Ratings, Distiller gave this an 84. Whiskey Advocate gave it an 80.
80 is on the low end
Yeah.
for them.
So again, type, proof, price, what would you pay?
I'm going to say 84 proof, because I always do.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually I'll be right. And that's true, I believe. Type? I always struggle with type.
I know.
I always struggle with type. I think type-wise, I'm gonna go.
You don't have type, I can just move over to him.
I'm gonna skip on type. I'm gonna say MSRP of this is 20 to 24. I'm gonna say I would pay 20. I don't have a type.
Okay. Type, I'm thinking Canadian. Price range, I'm going to go... I got to go broader than usual. I'm going to say 15 to 20, and I would probably pay on the upper end of that. Maybe even beyond my $20 guess. Am I allowed to guess somewhere between 0 and 30?
Can, but I'm a zero.
Yeah. Too broad. Okay. Now I'm going to say 15 to 20. I would probably pay upwards of 22 for it. Proof, I'm going to go 80.
Real quick, I'm gonna say it's Irish. Okay. I got my guess in.
Where do I want to start? Proof is 80. 80 proof.
Someday I'll be right.
What do I want to say about this? It is at least a 4-year-old whiskey.
At least 4?
Mm-hmm. The cask type was new charred oak. And it was made by Lux Row Distillers, which means it doesn't mean anything, but it means it's American. And it is a Kentucky straight bourbon.
You want to tell us the price?
I suppose I could. General price, $16.
Okay.
You paid $13, I believe.
Yes.
Which means you've had this before.
Yes.
I've also had this before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I had not had it. I mean, I had a sip of it to try it out before coming in to this. So you looked at it. What have you thought in the past compared to this time?
If I'm being honest, last one I didn't think it was as good. I still would have given it high ratings, but not as high as I did this time.
I loved it when I bought it. I tried it, and I was like, I got to get this to the shelf. So I remember saying at the beginning of the show that I want this on my shelf, and I guess I'm going to have to go buy another bottle because now it's on Josh's shelf.
I did say $20 what I pay for this, so at 16, absolutely.
Yeah.
At 13, I'm not letting it
Yeah,
pass.
definitely. Yeah, I can't wait to get another bottle of this and John, if you're watching, please.
One thing I did want to mention that I did not mention earlier is the Mashbill.
Yes, this one is a weeded. Correct?
Yeah, this is a weeded bourbon. So it will be not in our bourbon fight, but it'll be in our weeded bourbon fight, which is going to. And so the Mashbill is. Well, the camera's just self-recording. 68% corn, 20% wheat, and 12% malted barley. So 20% wheat is a fairly high amount of wheat for whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're going to include this whiskey in our weeded bourbon fight, which will include this, and currently just the Weller. Probably will include, no guarantees, but we'll probably also include Larceny and Maker's Mark whenever we get around to them. As are both weeded bourbons. If you like what you're seeing today, please hit the like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. And if you want to make sure you don't miss a single video, hit that little bell icon to see this and other whiskeys put in fights and reviewed and all that. You can also follow us on our Facebook page at The Bottom Shelf Whiskey and our Instagram, which is also at The Bottom Shelf Whiskey. Till next time, may the winds of fortune sail you.
May you sail a gentle sea.
May it always be the other guy that says,
This drink's on me.
And unfortunately, I am saying this drink's on me.